He's 36 years old. She is 31 years old. So they're fairly close in age. Typically, most women date up in age. 6 to 10 years is kind of where it falls. So that's working out for him. However, she's never been married and she doesn't have kids. So in this video, I had a client come in and I'm not going to use his name, but he gave me permission to kind of talk about a little bit of his situation and what he's been going through. And I think it should probably resonate with everybody. We all deal with relationships, and we all deal with traumas in our past that sometimes unknowingly we bring into current relationships. So this guy's fairly successful, pretty good looking. He on the spectrum of do I want to get my dick wet to do I want to be married, he is sort of looking for a wife. He wants to date somebody seriously and then maybe move it into getting married. So he's not out there looking, to fuck everything he sees. So he's 36 years old. She is 31 years old. So they're fairly close in age. Typically, most women date up in age. 6 to 10 years is kind of where it falls. So that's working out for him. However, she's never been married and she doesn't have kids. So he's 36. He's never been married and doesn't have kids. However, his agency lasts longer, meaning he can have kids into his 60s and 70s if he wants. So he has time. He doesn't have to his clock isn't ticking where it's like, oh my God, I have to have kids right now. He's interested in having kids. He would like to have kids someday, but his clock is not ticking like this female's is. And so he brought up the fact that they've only been on a few dates. I believe this is date number 3. And she's starting to press him for a relationship, asking questions like, what are we? Every time she talks, she's using we, us, things like that. And it's starting to scare him a little bit. He does like her, but he's not moving as fast as she is. And he questioned, he goes, why is that? And I said, well, it's very simple. She's 31. She's never been married, doesn't have kids. Most of her girlfriends probably have already been married, already have kids, and she's starting to feel father time coming in that sense where she wants to start a family. She wants to have kids, but her clock is starting to wind down. There's a term called geriatric pregnancy. Not sure if you ever heard that, but basically it means from 35 on, if a female gets pregnant, it's called geriatric pregnancy. The probability of having a live, healthy birth diminishes year by year after that, so it can potentially be dangerous. Now, we have great medical facilities and all that stuff, but nonetheless, 35 and up, it becomes a little bit dangerous. So she's starting to feel that. She's starting to realize that he's probably a high enough value guy. She sees in him that she's gonna want kids, but she's pushing a little bit too much in this sense, in his eyes, because she wants to have kids. So he said, well, what do I do about this? I said, well, you have 2 options. You can tell her that, hey, I like how things are going right now. I can see a future if he can, or let her go find somebody who is a little bit more willing to just jump in and get married and have kids so soon. You gotta remember, when a girl hits about 28 years old, she switches into different phases of her life. Her party years tend from 18 to 28, that's her party years. That's when her sexual agency is at its peak. It starts to decline at 24, 25. It kind of starts going from there. By the time they hit roughly 28, they start thinking, if they haven't been married yet, if they haven't locked down a high value man yet, if they don't have kids, they start thinking, wow, I've been partying my ass off all this time. My girlfriends have kids, they're married, I've been getting my back blown out by fucking dudes left and right. Now they start thinking, okay, now I need to start settling down. So they get into their 30s, they start realizing that most of the good guys that are out there, the high value men, have already been locked up. You know, it's just the way things go. And so now this guy who's 36, he has choice. He can still date down. He can go date into his 20s. I'm 47. I've dated girls 26, 27. It's not a big deal. So again, he has time. Guys, if you're in a dating relationship right now, don't have one-itis. If you just started dating her and she's doing these same signs, take a step back and see if this is really the rabbit hole you want to go down, because the last thing you actually want to do is gaslight somebody and make them think that you're gonna be the husband, you're gonna be the guy who, you know, wants to have kids. And in reality, if you don't, or you're not ready, you need to let them know. So these are some of the signs you want to look out for, especially when they hit 28 to about 34. You got to really look at this stuff, because they're going to try to lock you down a little bit faster than if they were in their 20s, where they sort of might just want to date a little bit and kind of see where it goes. So take a look at those signs. Also, you want to really ask yourself that same question I always do. You're 32 years old and no one's put a ring on you yet. You don't have kids. Ask about her career. I mean, maybe she spent a lot of time trying to build up her career, and that's fine, but you really want to know why. A lot of the times is they spent a lot of time partying and getting fucked by a lot of people. She's damaged goods. She really is. So you really want to look at that and say, do I want to deal with this shit? I hope this helps. What I basically told him to do was have a conversation with her, black or white. Listen, I like you. I like how things are going. I'm cool with the situation right now. If you want more, hey, I wish you luck, but I'm not going to be pressured into something I'm not ready for. With that, my name is Jerod with Masculine Men's Club. We'll talk soon.